really cool that a group of just preppers who want to share the knowledge and get the word out on what we should be doing invited Dr. Bones and I, and we're really happy to be here. And I am a certified nurse midwife. I've delivered hundreds and hundreds of babies, and I'm also an advanced registered nurse practitioner, and I was in practice with my husband, Dr. Bones.
And I'm a fellow of the American College of Surgeons and the American College of OBGYN, and recently retired, and so we've decided to devote our time to getting people prepared medically. I mean, everybody's got the beans and the bullets, and we want people to start thinking about the Band-Aids.
And I have to tell you, devotion is an understatement. You'll wake up in the morning, usually Dr. Bones has a brewing pot of coffee for me, and we whip open our computers and start researching, and all we can do is focus on writing and helping people.
Medical preparedness.
Yeah, medical preparedness.
But it's awesome that you guys are, you know, really taking the time out to write the things that you've been writing on your website, also with the book. And it's probably certainly more written bearing in mind about survival and preparedness, wouldn't you think?
Well, I think that there's a lot that's been written about survival and preparedness, but a lot less written about medical preparedness. What happens if there are no modern medical facilities? What happens if the emergency medical personnel can't get to you in the aftermath of a disaster or in other times of trouble? So what we've done is we've put together a website with, gosh, there are over 200 articles on it, and written a book, which is over 400 pages, which assumes that there are no longer this modern medical technology, that we've been thrown back because of some reason to an earlier time. And so we talk about all the things that you need to do to take care of the likely medical impact.
Tell us the name of that book. I'd be interested in checking it out.
The book is called The Doom and Bloom Survival Medicine Handbook, and you'll find it on Amazon right now. It's #1 in the category of safety and first aid. Excellent. And #1 in the category of, believe it or not, survival skills. We are actually shocked by the reception that we've...
Shocked is an understatement.
Yeah, by the reception that we've gotten. We printed this book ourselves, went through a printer, had it done. We edited the book ourselves. We wrote the index ourselves.
Yeah.
Imagine writing an index. That's a lot of fun. And we are just thrilled by the number of people that are interested in dealing with medical issues when they're the end of the line when it comes to the medical care of their families.
Well, my opinion, I think that's one of the top probably 5 least looked at preps that people need to think about is medical needs. And I think what you guys are doing is great. And I will be getting this book for sure.
Well, thank you very much. Well, we've done we have really looked at what the likely things are that you could see. We've taken the experience of doctors, some of them Doctors Without Borders, some of them Peace Corps doctors from years ago that spent time as the sole medical resource in an austere environment with limited supplies. And so we took what they saw most commonly and we wrote about what you can do to be a better medical asset in times of trouble with regards to these issues. So we talked about, we talk about, of course, traumatic injury. We talk about diarrheal disease. We talk about, gosh, we even talk about dental issues. You know that in Vietnam, medical personnel actually saw more people reporting a sick call for dental problems than they did for medical problems. So we even tell you how to deal with things like that, even how to pull a tooth.
All right, now I'm definitely buying it.
Don't
They
fret.
got a lot of information on their website, too. There's a lot of stuff that I've downloaded. I think I've been subbed to them on YouTube for at least 6 months and checking their website out. There's a bunch of downloadable information.
Hey,
Well,
Doc,
and I'm embarrassed to say that and I hope this doesn't offend you guys, I've never heard of you before hearing about you being on the show tonight, but, you know, everybody that's on here are people I trust implicably, and I will be buying that book, and especially now that I know there's a dental stuff in there, because I got a lot of that issues.
hey,
Well, you
Doc,
know, we haven't spent 1 cent on advertising this book or really, you know, doing commercial things because we're really not that way.
We have no idea how to market. Show me a baby that's coming out, and I'll deliver that baby, get that placenta out, stop the bleeding, and sew her up if you need to. But tell me I got to market something, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, you show me that baby coming out, and I'm running the other way.
Okay, I have spotted our first question,
Go ahead.
and it is from Randall Lace. Can you please discuss what type of over-the-counter antibiotics are available and legal to own in the United States?
Aha. Well, you have just asked Randall the right question.
Ding, 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 ding. You are our winner.
Well, let me give you a little bit of our background. We raised, as a hobby, tropical fish in the old days. And
15 years we've been raising
Yeah.
fish.
And since we become interested in preparedness, we
Amoxicillin.
switched over from tropical fish to raising tilapia as a food fish, which they do around here in the Florida Everglades, so it's warm enough here for tilapias to survive. And
they breed like rabbits, by the way.
and they do. And,
Oh my gosh.
and so we've had good success with doing that. And when we dealt with medical problems that related to infection in our fish, we use antibiotics that you can get, of course, without a license, without a medical license or a DEA number at your local pet store or online. Now, we've taken a good look at this, and by the way, even though we don't have a lot of YouTube videos on our channel, which is called DR Bones Podcast channel, we did put a video up on this one. And if you take an antibiotic, let's take amoxicillin as an example, and if you take amoxicillin, you take a look at that bottle, there is only one ingredient in the aquatic amoxicillin, and one of the brand names is Fishmox, Fishmox. And the only ingredient in that bottle is amoxicillin. Now, more interesting is that the dosage of Fishmox that you get is 250 milligrams or 500 milligrams, and that is the exact dosage that is used in humans. So what I did is I took a bottle of my Fishmox and I got a bottle of human amoxicillin, and the 500 milligram human amoxicillin is a red and a pink capsule with the numbers and letters WC731 on it. And the fish amoxicillin is a red and pink capsule with the numbers and letters WC731 on it. What does that tell you?
Fine seal.
Yes, ma'am. That's exactly what I think that is. And I was actually the first one, I think, to write about this. It was published in an article on Survival Blog back in 2010.
By you.
By me. And we talked about it, and we talked about a number of other antibiotics that I happen to find tetracycline, doxycycline, stromycin, Keflex, salt slugs, all sorts of different antibiotics that are exactly the same way. They are the same dosage. There's only one ingredient, that's the antibiotic. There's nothing there to make your scales shinier or your fins longer or anything like that. And my statement here is that I believe that these are taken from human batches, and just some of them are just shipped to the veterinary supply stores, and some of them go to human farmers.
Right. We believe that there's only one manufacturing facility or several facilities for human antibiotics. And all they are done is they take some of them and ship them to the fish antibiotics bottling companies, and then some of them go off to the pharmacies. And we've had pharmacists contact us. We've had people in research and development of medicine contact us. We've had people from fish facilities contact us. And every single one of them say, you're absolutely right. There's nothing different. There's no additional additives. There's nothing that differentiates the pill that you get from the pharmacy from the human dose. Now, that being said, I want to just say a slight disclaimer, is that we are not a self-help site. We are a site that talks to preppers, to people who are prepared, to people who, when medical facilities are not available, are going to have to, because of survival, to utilize what they have in their homes. And so
in other words,
we're telling people to get these, but we're not telling you to use these today.
Right.
Well,
Just
I can tell you off of what you're talking about now in your disclaimer that from personal experience, I bought amoxicillin from a pet store online. It's fish amoxicillin, and it worked perfectly for me. It took away the infection I had. That was the only medication I was taking at the time. It worked very well.
Right.
Doc, what happens if somebody's allergic to penicillin?
Right. I actually saw that as a question. I was going to tell you, honey.
All right. There are a lot of veterinary antibiotics, aquarium antibiotics, that are useful for people who are allergic to penicillin. You can use Cipro, which comes as something called fish flock, which is a medicine that is Cipro is actually called ciprofloxacin, so it's called fish flock. You can use the clindamycin, which is marketed as fish sin, Fishcin. You can use a bird antibiotic that also passes the same test that I require, called bird biotic, and that's doxycycline. And doxycycline is also comes in the human dosage. It's the only ingredient in the bottle. And so there are a lot of medicines. Now, you can find my series of articles on our website, doomandbloom.net. It's called Antibiotics and Their Uses in Collapsed Medicine,
and there are
parts 1 through 4.
Right. There are 4 series, and they're quite long, and I recommend that everyone print these out, because what he does is he tells you the human name, it tells you the fish name, and the dosage, and he goes through each of the indications for every one of these antibiotics so that you have a primer in antibiotics and what you would do if you had these illnesses, which one would you use, and the dosage. And all of these fish antibiotics come in human dosages, not fish dosages, but human dosages.
And we talk about exactly what illnesses you would use each for. So that's something that I think is very useful too.
You say about
use the search engine, antibiotics and their uses.
I will pull up the link right now while we're talking, and I'll put up the first one in the series. So you guys can go ahead and find that one, and then you'll find the other one following it.
Now, I see a question by Stoder, who asked how long are they good for. Now, that's the other right question. Now, let's talk a little bit about expiration dates. Expiration dates are the date that the pharmaceutical company will guarantee that your medication is at full potency, 100% effective. However, FEMA has millions and millions of doses of these antibiotics in their stockpile. And over the course of time, these antibiotics have gone expired. They've passed their expiration dates. So FEMA's there with warehouses full of this stuff. And so what they did is they did a study called the Shelf Life Extension Program. And it states, basically what they did is they tested all of these antibiotics that were between 2 and 10 years, 2 and 10 years expired. And they found that these antibiotics were still completely effective. Now, these are antibiotics that are in pill or capsule form. Liquid antibiotics, like amoxicillin, liquid amoxicillin that little kids use, that is different. Liquid medications do not last much longer than their expiration date. So pills or capsules, they do. And so don't be throwing away your medications. Keep them for times of trouble, because these antibiotics will be effective over the course of time. And let's see. Oh, and the ones that I'm looking at, the ones that were 2 years, that they say are good for 2 years afterwards. I believe that those antibiotics are ones that were only 2 years expired at the time of the study. Now, this information is interesting. It was available for about 3 months, and this information is no longer available. You would have to go to the Journal of, I'm reading it here, the Journal of Pharmaceutical Sciences from July of 2006. And that has all the information there. If you go to the local medical library, you'll be able to find it.
Hey, Doc, what about colloidal silver?
Colloidal silver you have to remember that before antibiotics, silver was used as the antibiotic because it has antibacterial properties. Now, Silvadine, their creams, sulfosulfite, I believe, very useful for that. Now, standard medical studies are not available. In other words, done by
Do we lose Doc Bones and Nurse Amy?
Yeah, I can't hear them.
Okay, you want to call us back?
Yeah.
You're there now.
I hear her now.
I hear you now.
Okay, honey, or where did you lose us?
Doc was explaining about silver being a antibacterial.
Okay, just start over.
All right. Well, silver is an antibacterial, and before there were antibiotics that were in wide use, that was around World War II, they used silver as essentially the antibacterial. Now, it works very well, and it's still used in a number of medications for use on the skin, for example, for burns and pressure sores, things like that. However, there's not a lot of information in the standard medical literature that proves the effectiveness of silver, colloidal silver, that is done by universities or things like that. Now, that doesn't mean that it couldn't possibly work. It's just that I don't have any scientific proof other than what I've seen on a colloidal silver site. Now, I don't think that there's any real damage to taking colloidal silver other than if you take too much, then your skin turns blue. That's called argyria. But that happens, you have to take an awful lot of it for that to happen.
Right. So we feel very comfortable in saying that this colloidal silver, and you have to remember that Silvadine is the #1 hospital-used burn treatment. Now, what does Silvadine tell you? It's silver.
It's got silver in it.
Right, exactly. The hospitals are still using a silver product as their #1 burn treatment. So there's obviously something to that. However, it is topical. Now, what happens with silver in the body is silver ions are, let's say, they're like a single lady who goes into a bar, and they want a partner. And partners come to them very quickly. So in the body, when you ingest silver, silver's looking for somebody to dance with, and they will bond very quickly with a chloride. And so what is our body full of? Sodium chloride. So what can happen is that a large amount of the silver that you ingest, that ion, immediately or soon after ingesting, become bonded and therefore inert. Inert means they're not going to do anything. And so that's why, we're not too sure about the, internal inspection. However, external application has definitely been proven.
What do you think about them using that colloidal silver in a nebulizer for a lung infection type thing?
Well, I know that Matt Stein, our friend who wrote When Technology Fails, is a big proponent of that, and it makes sense. The only problem is that they're silver ions. Once they get into your body, once they manage to combine with the sodium chloride in your body, they become silver chloride. Silver chloride becomes inert. Now, as they're going in, as in the nebulizer, it may have some effect. So that is a way that is probably more likely to have an effect than any of the other ways. However, again, I don't have any university studies done at the local medical schools that say that is proven to work. And so therefore I can't prove them to work. I don't have a personal experience with it, so I'm not the kind of person that says that's much of baloney. We believe in what's called integrated medicine. That means that we believe in all sorts of alternative remedies as well as conventional medicine. And we believe that it's the perfect marriage of the two. If you put them together, it will give you a lot more tools in the medical woodshed if things go south.
Right, and it's like someone just brought up, clean-minded. In the book, we have made sure that we put at least some natural strategies for taking care of the likely medical issues.
Right. For every medical issue, you'll find if there's an alternative that has shown some promise. Right. We would have put that in there. We have entire chapters on essential oil and all sorts of primers on alternative medicine. Clean-minded talks about oregano and clove essential oil. We think they're all cloves. Cloves, we actually package cloves in our kitchen sink. A couple of drops of clove oil and mix it with detoxified water. You can have temporary killing effect. And so this is an excellent way to, if you're in yourself in times of trouble or in a collapse situation, that you're going to be able to replace those lost fillings, those loose crowns. It's very, so that's, we believe strongly in having clove oil as part of your basic medical supplies.
As well as...
I cannot back that up enough. When I was having my tooth problems, putting just even powdered clove dust on my gums just killed the pain instantly.
There you go.
Excellent. Now, someone says we're cutting out. Does anyone else have any problems?
Can you hear us?
Good now. You were cutting out for a minute, but you sound good now. I've got a question for you, and maybe somebody asked this while I was out for a few minutes. But back to amoxicillin, can you take too much of it? If you're in a situation where that's the only antibiotic you have and somebody's got a serious infection, do you have to worry about giving them too much?
Well, you should follow the prescribed dosage.
If you look at our articles, we tell you exactly how much to give people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So that's the important thing is we want to give people, we don't want people, we want to just throw you a box of 1,000 antibiotic pills and say go to town. We want you to use them in the appropriate fashion for the right thing. Each antibiotic has its own strength and its weaknesses too.
You don't want to overdose with antibiotics because what you end up doing, first of all, when you take antibiotics, you end up killing gut bacteria. Now, if anyone knows anything about the gut, bacteria that naturally lives within our bodies is a symbiotic bacteria. It's there for a purpose. We wouldn't have it if it wasn't helping us. So what it's doing is it's helping us break down our nutrients and process those so our body can absorb them. When you take too many antibiotics or even just a course of antibiotics, you're decreasing that gut bacteria. So you need to be careful because there's a balance about that. And also, when you take, many courses of antibiotics, and this can happen with anyone who takes antibiotics several times, is the virus or bacteria, I should say, that's exposed to either the antiviral or the antibacterial medication can become what's called a superbug. And this is a problem that we're dealing with today, is that the overuse of antibiotics has caused a serious
Right. What's happening is, it's not just doctors that are over-prescribing antibiotics. You realize that 80% of the antibiotics in the United States go to livestock. And so what's happening is that you get all of these antibiotics being pumped into our food, and what's happening is that sometimes the bacteria become resistant to the antibiotics. Matter of fact, I remember they had to kill millions of turkeys late last year because they developed a resistant form of salmonella. And these were turkeys that were given antibiotics from the day they were born, probably.
And isn't the other problem that when people get a prescription for an antibiotic that they don't finish out the entire prescription? Once they start feeling better, then they stop taking it, which, from my understanding, is that builds up a resistance towards that antibiotic. Am I correct there?
You're absolutely right with regards to that. You know what happens is if you take, let's say you're supposed to take an antibiotic, let's say for 7 days. You take it for 3 days, you feel better, that's it. What happens in circumstances that you probably have killed 99.9% of the bugs, except for the bugs that were most resistant. If you had taken it for the remaining time, you probably would have killed that remaining amount. But if not, what you've done is have you ever heard the old adage that goes, what kill me makes me stronger? Well,
yeah.
Same thing with bacteria.
Right. You're actually exposing that bacteria to an antibiotic that it now can take to become stronger again. The bacteria and viruses are amazingly resilient, and you have to be careful because every time we expose them, we're teaching them what they need to change so that they will not be killed by that again. If somebody hit you over the head with a sword, 10 times, the 11th time you probably put a shield up to block. So if you don't kill that bacteria, it's going to do something to mutate and resist it, so that the next person that now you communicated that resistant bacteria to, now they take the same antibiotics that you took, and this is the problem. Well, not it's the problem with being overprescribed the antibiotics when most people have friggin' viral infections. It should be given antibiotics in the first place. So we have to create a world around, maybe.
Yeah, they're real choppy right now. Vic, do you think we could call them and bring them in that way?
Yes. Hold on. Or well, actually.
Or do you want to do
What about
and bring
I want to kick and re-add again. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Here we go.
I think they're sharing some great information, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, this is awesome, and people are actually getting this information. It looks like they're.
Can you hear us now?
Yeah, and there was another question about, besides the obvious, like personal hygiene and keeping your cooking utensils clean, what would you recommend for dealing with food poisoning in a situation where you don't have ready medical attention?
Well, if you think that you're getting food poisoning, number one, purge yourself. Get as much of it out of your stomach as you possibly can.
There went Toad.
Drink as much clear fluids to dilute it out as you can. There's activated charcoals available in various commercial commercial products that you can use that bind. Activated charcoal bind to it. Therefore, keeps them from entering your system. Now, some poison control filters don't
I think he took 5.
Yeah, I don't think they have their volume up on their blog TV. So go ahead, bro. You wanna do a giveaway?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, you wanna do a giveaway?
Well, yeah, it don't matter who does it. I was just gonna say, all these people. What? All these people. Yeah.
It said back and taking a low bus break.
Hey, can y'all hear me?
Uh-oh, they're hearing me. You have speakers. No.
Okay, Blog TV, if you can hear East Coast Prepper, say yes.
Yes. Can the people in the blog TV and the chat and everything, can they hear me?
Yeah, they hear you.
Okay, we get ready to give something away. All these people in the guest, if you make a channel and sub to this page, you can be entered into the giveaways. We'll take a few minutes before we do it, just so you can have time to do it. It's very simple. You use your email address, make an account with a name, and then that way you always get notices and things like that, and plus you'll qualify for all the giveaways, and we do a lot. So we'll take about 10 minutes or so to give them time to do that. Did you hear that?
10 minutes or so?
Well, it's a lot of guests, so give them a few minutes to get their account set up.
Perfect. Smoke time. So I need more information from the doc and nurse on not only liver cleansing, but lung cleansing.
Yeah.
Stop drinking and smoking would be good.
That's the easy part, but I don't want to take the easy road.
I mean, the show's going to keep going, but all the people that's in the guest, that's got guests beside their name, you won't be entered in any giveaways if you don't have a name and are not sub.
Yes, and he is talking about signing up here for Blog TV and making an account here and subscribing to this show. That's what he's talking about.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Gravy, kick me and call me.
Hey, hang on a minute.
Hey, kick him and don't call him.
Wimberly, I have your answer.
Okay.
I'll give it to you in just a second.
Okay, thank you, sweetheart.
Thank you, Sinner. It takes a lot to get the hair just that way.
And we definitely want to thank Dr. Bones and NurseAmy for coming on, too.
Scudder says he's not hearing us in the chat.
He needs to refresh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's your answer, Wimberly.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
I'm bringing Ben back.
Sorry, the number you have dialed has gone insane and will not return until the following week.
I'm sure he knows that we can see all these funny faces.
You're muted, honey.
Well, somebody asked how the giveaway works. We go
to... the winner wins Frog Toad or East Coast Prepper. Well, now, A.Z. Populous, there's been...
A date with them? Oh, my God.
Yeah, a date with them.
Not me.
But you can't touch because they're all married. Except for Froggy. You can touch him all you want to.
He'll just stroke.
No, we just Freudian slip there, huh, Wimberly?
Yeah.
We go to random.org, and we put in the number of people that are showing on chatting that have an account set up with Blog TV. And we just randomly pick a number between 1 and whatever the max number we have.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the winner of the prize that we're going to, one of the prizes that's we're going to give away.
Right.
Ben's busy. That's funny.
And I guess the answer changed, Wimberly.
Sorry.
Okay.
So I have to recount.
Golly.
All right.
Let me recount. We've got people, well, I got to recount anyway when people that are guests are come back from making their accounts.
Yeah, because that
Maybe
guest
give them a
list
little longer.
really shrunk.
With,
So if you,
I'm sorry, guests are not included in the giveaways. You need to make an account and come back in. We're giving 10 minutes for you to do that.
I mean, it's easy to make an account. It's very, very easy. You can make up a fake name. It doesn't matter. We don't see any of that anyway.
Yeah, and yeah, I wanna personally apologize for everybody for bringing up such staid and boring co-hosts.
Fun and Doc and Nurse, great information. I look forward to checking your website out more, which I already kind of checked out and it looked awesome.
Awesome. Thanks so
Thanks
much.
for all the information.
I
Our
also
pleasure.
I also want to just mention to everybody out there that Dr. Bones and Nurse Amy on their website, they have medical bags that are put together by them, and they come in different varieties, and they have different items inside of them. Again, this is not, this has got nothing to do with commercialism. It's basically we feel as though that the Doc and Amy are preppers in a sense. They are part of our community, and they've taken the time to put these medical kits together, and we really believe that that would be the way to go. I'm certainly going to look at them and pick up a few myself. So also on their website, which is doomandbloom.net, you can pick up their book, which is the Doom and Bloom Survival Medicine Handbook, and also on every Saturday night at 9 Eastern on Blog Talk Radio, the Doc and Amy have their radio show. It's the Doom and Bloom Hour. So I just wanted to get those plugs in real quick because they were real nice to be here tonight with us, and we really appreciate them being here.
Yes, thank you.
Well, we're very happy to be here. Can everybody hear me now? Or are we
Yes.
back on?
Outstanding, yes.
All right. Well, I just wanted. I saw that somebody wanted to know if we go to any prepper cons. Yeah, we actually have been to a lot already this year. We're going to be at the Self-Reliance Expo in Dallas, Texas on July 27th and 28th. We're going to be in Las Vegas around on Labor Day. I think it's September 2nd and 1st and 2nd. We're at the 2012 Survival Expo. We're going to be in Hickory, North Carolina, September 14th and 15th, where we're going to be teaching classes on suturing and stapling. We're also going to be doing that in Dallas, Texas, by the way, not in Las Vegas, but in Dallas, Texas. And we're going to be in Mesa, Arizona on October 26th and 27th, and we're going to be teaching suturing classes there, too. And we're also keynote speakers at all these events, actually. So please come by and say hi and tell us that you saw us on Blog TV. Now, what I want people to do in the time that we have left is I want people to put whatever questions they have there so I can address issues that you guys want to know about. So go ahead and write something down. Yes, the skin stapler, Mahaley, is an excellent thing to have in a kit, but the important thing to know about suturing or stapling is when not to do it, when to leave that wound open. It's very, very important. Let's take the example of that girl from Georgia that got injured in the zip line accident. She actually was taken to an ER, and they didn't wash out the wound well enough, and they put 22 staples in her, and what it did was it locked in a bacteria under her skin, which caused her to have a severe infection, and she lost a leg. I think more things too. So, you want right. So you right, and you want and you want to have the wounds cleaned well beforehand. Crazy glue is absolutely fine. The medical super glue that they use is called Dermabond. It takes a prescription. It costs about $50. crazy glue will work just as well. Amy's father has used it numerous occasions. And exactly. Now, staples, Mahaley, are actually easier to place than sutures, but it's easier to place them when you have somebody helping you turn the edges of the skin out, because that's the way the staples should go. So the good thing about suturing is you can do that all by yourself. Stapling is better, or you do a better job stapling when you have somebody that's helping you.
Hey, Doc, when should you have to worry about leaving, whether you staple or suture or super glue or whatever, if it's a real deep wound and you have to close it up, leave it open for weepage or anything like that?
Well, you know what you have to do is when you take a look at a wound and you think it's a deep wound, you have to determine whether whatever you're going to do to close it is going to leave any any air pockets in there. Air pockets are called dead space when they're in a wound. And if you have dead space in a wound, inflammatory fluid with bacteria, debris, even air has bacteria in it. And if you leave a pocket of air in there, you haven't completely closed each layer of the wound, then you're going to wind up getting an infection. So this is the important thing to know, is when you take a look at a wound, you look at the layers that have been opened by the cut. And, you have to make sure, if you see that it's gone down to the fat, which looks like a bunch of yellow globules, you got to close that. If it's gone down even further and goes into what looks like meaty-looking tissue, dark red, steak-like material, you hit the muscle, you have to close that too. So in somebody that goes that far down, you probably have to use 3 different layers to adequately close that wound. And remember that you can also leave a wound open for a couple of days and keep it clean and put wet dressings, moist dressings on it, and see if it's clean or not. You can tell if a wound becomes infected by several things. It becomes red, it becomes swollen around the edges, and it becomes warm to the touch. And if that's happened, then you don't want to close that wound. But if it looks clean, and if none of those other things that I just mentioned are happening, then you could close it in what they call a delayed closure. So there are lots of different choices in terms of whether to close or open a wound. When in doubt, leave it open. Because every wound, especially in the wilderness, is going to be dirty in almost all circumstances.
Okay. Very good. And if it's really deep and you have to do a 3-layer suture, like you're talking about, you surely can't use super glue on the lower extremities of it, can you?
You can't use super glue except on the skin layer, honestly, on the superficial layer, because there's a chemical reaction that might cause the burn on the more sensitive, deeper tissues like muscle and fat. So I would not use super glue on the deep layers. I would only use it on the skin.
Okay. Very cool. Thank
Okay,
you.
what other questions? Oh, you're so welcome.
I'm trying to tie some of that.
So give me a question.
There's a lot of people on there
Interesting.
that's asking about blood
good.
pressure medications.
Okay, people were talking. Let me just say about, since we're still on wounds here, wet dressings. Yes. Anytime a wound is open, whatever's touching the open area of the wound has to be moist, because that's going to hydrate the material that's injured, and that's going to help it heal better.
Right.
So,
Fill up the wound with, I can't speak. Fill up the wound with the wet dressings. They're great soaked in a saline and a betadine solution. You want to use like a Curlex or a sterile gauze soaked in these. You want to fill that up to the surface of the wound. Then you want to cover that wound with sterile dressings. And then you can use either a Curlex to wrap around if it's an extremity to hold it in place, or use paper tape because it's non-allergenic. You want to clean that wound at least twice a day. It is very, very, very important to keep a wound cleaned. When you take that wet dressing off, when you re-clean it, you need to flush it with the betadine and water solution, and then re-soak clean or sterile gauze, and then pack that wound to the surface, and then cover it with sterile dressing. And you do this at least twice a day.
And use and feel free to use sterile water. Sterile water is perfectly fine for wounds. MCAT, P, MOM, sterile water when possible. PPIX 0 if you're allergic to iodine. Water, sterile water is perfectly fine. With regards to your digestive system, and gas X, if you're talking about issues with gas, activated charcoal might be helpful to if you're worried about toxins from things that you might be getting in the that you might be eating in from your environment that you're not totally sure about. Senna tea, ginger tea would also be useful as to help your stomach. So you should have some of these things as part of your supply. So, okay, looks good. And I mentioned that. And, I can use tree moss. If you use tree moss, you have to remember that you have to figure out a way to make it clean. So if you wanted to boil tree moss and then maybe place that on as a moist dressing, if you have no cloth or no gauze, then that's fine. But if you're down to that point, then it means that you didn't get enough medical supplies. Remember, you can't ever have enough medical supplies. You can't ever have enough gauze. Any of these items that are extra, if there is such a thing, which there isn't, but if any of these items that are extra will be extraordinarily valuable barter items. So don't skimp on the quantity of gauze or other dressings. They will be useful in many ways.
And also remember, get high-test alcohol, because you're either going to be drinking it or you're going to be bartering it, or using it to sterilize your wounds.
Yes, you can use white ball. Mom, you could use white boiled linen or cotton. I prefer. You mean a cotton cloth? Yeah, cotton cloth is good. Cotton itself, cotton balls have little fibers, and you'll get them. There'll be little foreign objects in the wound, so you prefer not to use that inside the wound. Do you think you can use like?
Someone talked about tampons earlier.
Oh yeah, you could. Oh yeah, you could use. Yeah.
If it's a small wound that's going to tampon it, which is actually a medical term for.
Tamponade. Yeah. Yeah. Believe it or not, stopping bleeding by pressure is called tamponading. So it's fine to use tampons, fine to use maxi pads. They might be less expensive than the Combine or ABD pads if they sell commercially. So that would be use a tampon can be placed inside a bullet wound. It can, but it would have to be exactly the right size. And remember, the entry wound and the exit wound are going to be different because of cavitation forces that occur during the as a result of the injury. I need to see.
I'm sorry.
I need to see what people are doing. Cobwebs, if you can find cobwebs.
So they were talking about unscented Depends, which is.
Oh yeah, yeah. Always, yeah.
Anything that's a thick cotton, 100% cotton absorbency padding is great. Either maxi pads, Depends. Your tampons are really better for the hold, but you have to remember, if you have a gunshot wound, usually you have an exit wound, and it's going to be much bigger.
Right, and use unscented. Don't have any additives in your tampons or maxi pads if that's possible. Vaseline makes a good infection barrier. You're absolutely right. We have Vaseline in a lot of our medical packs.
However, I would prefer, instead of Vaseline, I would, if I had the raw honey, the raw unprocessed honey to choose from, I would definitely prefer that, because not only does it prevent the infection, it creates the barrier, but it will kill. It's almost an alternative to triple antibiotic ointment. So get your raw unprocessed honey in large quantities. It will never, ever go bad. 1,000 years from now, that honey will still be good.
And garlic also, garlic is thought to lower the blood pressure. You're absolutely right. Aspirin is important to have. As you know, if you think somebody is having a heart attack, you want to give them a chewable aspirin if possible. You want them to chew an aspirin or two, and that will help stop the blood clotting that's occurring in the coronary arteries. Of course, in a collapse situation. You may not be able to do too much more than that for someone having a heart attack, but you can do that. And
of course, for blood pressure, I mean, we talk about the incredible wonders of garlic being able to lower blood pressure, but of course, your number one prevention for high blood pressure and curing is losing weight and exercise. I mean, you cannot emphasize that enough. If we are going into a shit hits the fan situation, if you are not in the best physical condition you can be in, you're going to be more susceptible to these chronic diseases, to getting, diseases that are looking for the perfect host. If you don't eat enough nutrition, if you're not drinking enough water, if you don't have good hygiene, you're going to get all sorts of diseases and infections that you normally wouldn't have gotten. So you have got to get in the peak condition possible. I know that it's hard for a lot of people. We're used to sitting around. We're not walking upstairs anymore. We're not walking to our jobs. We're not out in the fields exercising. We're not cavemen, cavewomen anymore. And so we've become, sort of lazy. And if you are in bad condition, you're going to be much more susceptible to having these diseases.
Now, by the way, if anybody disagrees with anything that we're saying, please feel free to say we are, we're not thinking that we're the end all and be all of medicine, but we do know about this stuff, and we are very, very interested in, making people more medically prepared.
We're trying.
So let's see, diatomaceous earth. We looked into that for, we're master gardeners for the state of Florida, and so we, of course, know all about diatomaceous earth for that. We haven't really looked honestly into that very much, have you?
Well, I mean, only for pest control. I mean, I actually did a show today for National News, our podcast tomorrow at 6 p.m. on nationalnewsradio.com. But that is something that I have a huge bag of, and if I could turn the video because it wasn't dark over there, I'd show you my huge bag of diatomaceous earth. It is fantastic for pest control. It's organic. It isn't going to be toxic when you go to eat your food. However, while you're sprinkling this diatomaceous earth on your vegetables for pest control, make sure you wear a mask. Don't want to breathe it in. It's not good for your lungs.
Barilla Tavern, I just want to let you know that if you go to my website, you can see my article, The Truth About Expiration Dates. Just go to the search engine on the upper right of the main page. Type in The Truth About Expiration Dates. You'll get to my article that addresses the issue that you're talking about. Are we licensed doctors, nurses? Yes, I am a doctor licensed in the state of Florida and a fellow of the American College of Surgeons and College of OBGYN. Amy is a registered nurse practitioner and a certified nurse midwife. And
can you guys kind of like describe like some of your medical kits that you carry?
Yes, absolutely. We have a line of medical kits that range from personal carry kits all the way to a kitchen sink. We include all natural medicines wherever possible. Some kits are trauma bags, basically stomp bags, in which they're meant to help you deal with major trauma incidents. Our Trauma Plus bag has been called by Adam of Equipped to Endure, who's a wilderness guy, and his whole group are all EMTs. He calls it the EMT bag on steroids. And so we have different levels based upon, of course, your pocketbook and really the amount of space that you've dedicated for medical supplies, which, by the way, it should be more than what you already have. But we have essential oils. We have a number of different essential oils that we sell in a family medicine herbal pack for people who are into that. We got to tell everybody that it's really, really important to make sure that you have all the tools in the medical woodshed, available to you, and essential oils are one of them. You just can't have, pills and capsules made by pharmaceuticals. Those are going to run out at one point or another. You've got to have these other things too, and even consider growing some of these things as well. We have teas that are useful, and those are easy to grow yourself. Just pick the leaves from your garden, and we also have a big giant family medical bag that has like a zillion things in it. That includes all the herbal things, all the staplers and suture kits, and all sorts of other stuff. And here's Amy. She wants to say something here.
Oh, okay. All right. The family medical bag was actually created for me, and what I did was I spent a couple of years researching what would I want in a prepper bag. What if I had to grab one bag, separate from, the other bug-out bag supplies. What would I want in my medical bag? So this has dental health. It has all the trauma supplies. It has chronic problems. It has, the Band-Aids, I'm losing my mind. All the other stuff. But it also has the tinctures. It has the raw honey. It has the teas. It has organic salves. What I wanted to do is provide people with natural remedies that they could use as alternatives to all of the standard medical supplies. And really, it's getting people to understand that nature was our medical supply when we didn't have all of these antibiotics and all this modern medicine. So it's just like our book. We put in all of these natural things. It's not really comprehensive, but it's sort of, a teaser. You need to learn these things because if we're thrown back to the medicine and to the times in the 1800s, this is all you're going to have. Those pharmaceuticals aren't going to be sitting there in your grocery store or your pharmacy for you to just go and fill your prescription. You're going to have to learn what's in your backyard, what's in the woods, what are you growing. So I have planted over 70 medicinal plants. I have ginger, I have garlic, I have onions, I have chamomile, echinacea, quite a few varieties of mint. I have lemon balm, lemongrass, rosemary, sage. I mean, pretty much you name it, I've got it. And so we need to learn what nature provides us to substitute for our pharmaceuticals. And that's why I included these things. It's not so much to say, okay, this is everything you need, but these are some things you need to learn about.
And these natural remedies, I'm sure, are discussed in the book, correct?
Yes, they are. And not only are they discussed in the book, but what I did in the family medical bag is I put together 9 different laminated cards which explained the content of the bag. There's a dental card, there's an eye care card, there's a wound care card, there's a suturing card, there's an essential oil card, so that if something happens and, your mind froze, because some people become a deer in the headlights. Something happens, they say, oh my gosh, what do I do? Because they don't have the hands-on practice like we do, the advanced education and, the practice that we've had in dealing with emergency situations where you have to stay calm. If you don't stay calm, you're going to lose your cool. Your brain is not going to function.
Now,
so if you don't have that training, go ahead.
Okay, sorry about that. Back when we were having a little bit of technical itis, we were talking. You guys were talking specifically about snake bites, and there are some people in the room that live in an area that's prone for snakes. So, was there any more information that you can provide to the community about snake bites?
Well, you know what? I'm going to let Dr. Bones speak about that again because he's written kind of extensively about that. Honey, reiterate your education about snake bites.
Okay, I want you to.
Okay, all right.
All right, I was writing while Amy was talking. They were talking a little bit about. Let me do this first. They were talking a little bit about first aid courses. The thing that you need to know, of course, all medical knowledge is very, very useful. Okay, it's very, very useful, and I encourage everybody to take first responder courses and all that. The one thing that's different, and how our book differs from all other most other medical books, is that your goal in first aid is to stabilize your patient and get them to the hospital, to the nearest modern medical facilities. But what if there are no modern medical facilities? You need to know what to do if you're the end of the line when it comes to that person's health. So, what we're trying to teach people on our website or our book, all the other ways that we do it, and by providing the medical supplies that we do, is to teach people to be able to deal with these issues as the end of the line. But when there's a situation that you can't pass the buck, then you need to know what to do, and you've got to become a medical resource for your people, and that's why we need to spread the medical education. Now, we were talking about snake bites. Let's see, snake bites. With snake bites, what you want to do is you don't want the venom to get. By the way, I just want you to know that only about 30 or 40% of venomous snake bites actually are so quick that they don't inject much poison. So you don't always get a lethal dose of venom with every bite. So just want to let people know that. But also, it's important. Number one, to try to keep that venom from going quickly to the body core and the major circulation. So you want to wrap that wound. You want to clean it very well. You want to wrap it as much as you possibly can with some compression, not excessive compression, but some compression. Most of let's say if you were using an ACE wrap, most of the ACE wrap at the level closer to the body core than to the end of the extremity, let's say that's bitten. You want to keep that extremity lower than the heart, so that you want to do everything possible to keep that venom from making its way up to the body core where it can cause some major issues. So those are some of the things that they do. Joe says that at one of the universities they're testing a 9-volt battery on a snake bite and apparently neutralizes 60% of the venom. I didn't know that, and I will actually be checking that out right afterwards. So I think that's very, very interesting. So, okay. So that's what I would say about snake bite. Luckily, there are only two kinds of snakes in our area or in the United States that are really big issues: pit vipers like rattlesnakes and elapids like the coral snakes that you see every so often. They're relatively rare compared to copperheads and things like that.
I think.
And by the way, wait.
Yeah,
before
go ahead,
you do that, before I'm done, I just want to say that, listen, make sure that you wear high-top boots and that you wear, some reasonably thick, long pants, so that you get some protection from that. So that's better.
Prevention is
better than nothing. There's
prevention.
Right, prevention.
Prevention.
Exactly. All right. I'm sorry. You were saying something.
I think. Did we want to do a J Null mallet giveaway at this point? Are we ready to do that, guys?
I believe we are. We've already did the count and done the random draw. We know who the winner is.
Aha.
All right. Well, here, I got this. If you want to, we'd be happy to donate a book. If you pick a winner, we'll go ahead and send them one of our books.
How about that?
Cool.
Look at that. Hey.
That's awesome.
All right. So we're giving away we'll give away one of our books. Go ahead and pick somebody to win that.
That is awesome. Thank you very much.
You're so welcome. Thank you for having us on.
Okay. So a little drum roll, and we're going to do...
Okay.
Go ahead.
Hold on, Ray. Hold on. I'm trying to coordinate here.
All right, Vic.
ECP, tell me what you meant. Okay. Are they here? Let's see, where are they? Whoa, what happened to my...
Amy,
I'm confused.
Hey, Amy.
Look, they're holding up my book.
Hey, Amy, were you a book model?
Amy is just regular old good looking. That's all.
Well, she ought to be a model.
She's a doll.
All right, Tony.
She's a lot prettier. She's even prettier inside.
Did you see that number for the book?
I don't think they can even see how long they are.
I see those.
Crazy.
Asian long beans.
There you go.
Oh, geez.
Chinese long beans. Oh, actually,
Are they asparagus beans or Chinese long
no,
beans?
they're asparagus beans.
Okay, what is the giveaway right now? What are we giving away right now?
I believe we're doing the J. Null Zombie Killing mallet. Is that correct?
Okay.
Is that correct, John?
Yeah, I got one made up here, so whenever you guys decide you want to, give it away. That's what I made it for, a prize. We can do it whenever.
Okay, let me scroll back up here, and our winner for the J. Null Zombie Killing mallet is, drum roll, anybody?
Oh my God, it's so pretty. Oh, so good.
I feel like Howard Stern in Private Parts.
MPP-SEPOC. MPP SEPOC. That is the winner of the J. Null mallet.
Congrats.
Oh, it's tough.
Acknowledge that you heard me. Let's see, waiting for them to show it in chat that they heard me.
He's,
Don't worry. Grady, he stepped away from his computer for a minute.
Okay.
I'm letting him know.
Okay.
All right. So
Well,
so then we can go ahead and do the drawing for the Doom and Bloom Survival Medicine Handbook.
Yes. And that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The winner for that handbook is Central Texas Prepper, CENTXPREPPER.
Awesome.
Now have Central Texas Prepper send us his address, or either type his address. Well, no, don't have to do that. Send us his address to our either Skype or email. You want to do it on Skype? You want to show up for everybody then? No. Why don't you, I'll tell you what. Is there any way that you could tell us to send it to our email?
I'll get the.
Okay, you get the address and you send it to me by email, and I'll send it out tomorrow.
Central Texas Prepper, private message Ray, which is Preppers Talk Live up there in the blue, the very first person, your address. Thank you.
Cool.
Awesome.
Whoever won the mallet, tell them to send me a personal message or a PM on my YouTube channel with the address, and I'll get it out.
Okay, that was Ben's telling him. MPP SEPOC won the mallet. Okay, we are at the 2-hour and 6-minute mark.
Did Texas Prepper acknowledge?
Yes.
Yes, they did.
A yellow. Rainbow.
Okay, Gravy. He's not even home. His MPP setbox is his computer's idle for him, so he said go ahead and give it away to somebody else.
Okay, pull me another number, Wim.
Okay.
Okay, mallet's up for grabs again.
Wow, you do a good job of pulling numbers.
My spinach died.
You gotta open this.
Well, it's passed.
Let's see. Number 4.
1, 2, 3, 4. Buckeye BDH.
Hey, there we go. Buckeye BD.
If there was me on.
You are now the proud owner of a John Null Zombie Killing mallet. If you acknowledge that you...
Buckeye, are you still in here?
Buckeye, you want a mallet, you have to let us know that you heard.
That is a John Null Zombie Killing mallet. That's not your normal mallet.
Right.
Can I win it by default if nobody claims it?
No.
No, Ben. Go back to trying on your hosiery.
I think we're going to have to pick a name in blue for somebody to claim it.
All right. I guess we're going to have to go to...
Generate another number.
Yep.
Okay, another number.
23.
All right. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Everybody's counting. 20, 21, 22, 23. Mahali C33.
There we go.
Oh, cool. Why is there here?
Yep. Mahali, you want a mallet. Private message your address to J0 up there in the blue.
I still didn't get any response from Central Text Prepper.
Well, he acknowledged he won.
Okay.
Yes.
You can't even give stuff away on this show.
I guess what we'll do is we'll go to the end of the show, and if we don't...
Yeah, Texas Prepper said yes. Have you sent your address to Ray yet? Central Texas Prepper. No. Okay. They have not done it yet.
Okay. All right, because I took them off to private, and I know that I need that to send it to the doc and to Amy.
All right. It says, but will. Okay. Got that covered.
Okay, good enough.
Awesome. Okay, guys, and we're going to sign off then, I guess. It's been a couple hours.
Thanks for coming, you guys.
Yeah, we
We are so happy to be there for you guys, and we'll come on again sometime soon, and if you want to have a fun.
Oh, we definitely
we're
want
just,
to have
Yes.
Awesome. Well, you guys are great, and thanks for everything you're doing, and you have a nice community here, and we're very, very glad to have spent some time with you tonight.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Doc.
Okay, well, all the best, you guys. We're signing
Bye.
off. Thank you.
Okay, take care, and thank you again.
Good night.
Wow, that was
Oh,
awesome.
sorry.
That was killer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on his website, and it says 0 on the price of the book. Is he out of them or something?
Let me...
Hey, T-Pix, I'm almost willing to bet that J0 will take an order for the
Oh,
for
yeah,
the mallet.
definitely.
Won't you, John?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I will. Yeah, I definitely will.
T-Pix 0, just IM him there, and he'll get you. Cool. PM him on YouTube. That's a good one. The mini Sledge-O-Matics. Hey, can you make a big, full-size Sledge-O-Matic size, John?
I can make them big and small.
You can make them all.
Okay, they're still on as co-hosts. Are they finished?
I believe they are.
Okay.
They left the chat on.
All righty.
That was great.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
So is there anything else you guys out in, on the blog TV if you want to discuss, add questions asked of us, or get while the getting's good?
Yes, Haley, you did win.
You're muted.
Mahaley, you did win the book.
But I wanted the book.
Well, go buy it.
What?
Okay, MC, how do we say that?
I
McAd,
thought Mahaley won the mallet,
or actually, yeah, you're right.
and Central Texas won the book.
You're right. You are right. I'm sorry.
I don't know who won nothing.
I see a question. It says, what skill do you advise an older person to develop?
Patience.
Feel free, anyone.
Myself, I'm looking on using a walker.
Redneck.
Well, I am. Got to have coordination for that stuff, you know?
Well, I would say something, you know, for older people, you know, their skin and stuff gets really thin and dry and easily, you know, they easily get bruises and sores and stuff. So I would definitely say take care of, you know, make sure you have some of that, you know, extra stuff for that. Is basically what I'm saying. I'm sorry, y'all.
All right. Good night, Hillbilly. Have a good evening.
Good night, Billy.
I think a good thing for an older person to pick up on is, especially if you don't have a lot of experience with it, is repairing stuff and getting things to work again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good night, Firelight.
I'm calling flight.
Okay, the person said, I am asking as a 51-year-old. I want to be valuable to any group I join.
Sewing, crochet. Yes, Wimberley is in desperate need of several cabana boys. Thank you very much. Big, strong one.
Consider somebody 51 to be old.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm 52 also. That ain't old.
Good night, Rand.
Okay, I'm 55, and you know, some days I feel old, but I'm not.
You're the boy.
Yeah.
You're fantastic with kids. There's going to need to be somebody to help people with younger ones to kind of keep them wrangled and entertained and teach them stuff, you know, teach them to read. And everybody's going to have a job that's important. I would say that no person is dead weight.
Hey, mind over. Yeah, man.
You know, gardening and
Good night, AJ.
metalwork, woodworking.
Right.
You know, everything is going to be.
Night, AJ.
I mean, just pick one skill and get good at it, and then grab another one and get good at that.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm myself. I'm going to learn to crochet. I can sew and do all that, and I'm really good at that. But I think crocheting would be another good thing that I could learn, so that I can make sweaters and blankets and stuff like that.
Ziva, that's not true. You do have skills. You do.
That's what I thought when I came here too. I'm just a chick that's addicted to makeup and skincare, you know.
Wimberly, you're still a chick that's addicted to makeup and skincare.
But I didn't really, you know, I found a way that I could make it work with prepping, so.
Good night, Benny.
I guarantee you there's still going to be bitches out there that need that's going to want their lip gloss and their eyeshadow and I got tons of that. I'd be bartering fools.
Gorilla, you're having a knife giveaway? I'm going to have to check that out.
Yes, you are a prepper, mind over.
Y'all got to put a half.
I love y'all discussion.
Okay.
Yeah, we need a what you call it, like they do at the drive-in, where they let you go to the popcorn stand.
Right?
Intermission.
Yeah.
Yeah, intermission.
We need a vote on what knife. Okay. Yeah, we still have two drive-ins here in the Phoenix metro area. The one that I go to has 9 screens. It's open 365 days a year, rain or shine.
I wish we still had ours. I got
And it's
rid of ours about 18 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But I did see a news report today that drive-ins are making a big comeback.
They are.
Yeah. Yeah, 9 screens, Lord Bear. It's the property set up in a huge circle. It has one of those, I guess it's an octagon-shaped building with a snack bar, and the second floor is all projectors. And
Very cool.
Tuesday is family night. It's the cheapest night of the week.
Well, I used to love going to the drive-in.
And they do broadcast over FM frequency. They don't have the speakers hanging on your window anymore.
3 of my friends conceived their first babies at the drive-in.
I'm in the Phoenix metro area, Arizona.
Mine, Grover, is your YouTube channel the same as your name in here?
Coder.
Goodyear, huh? Wow. Well, I'm close to Levine. Real close to Levine. That's on the west end of South Mountain.
That's pretty up at Snowflake.
Yeah, it's beautiful up there.
So was anybody denied access to the internet today by the FBI virus?
No.
Not me. I heard a TV report that 48,000 people were cut off this morning.
Wow.
I was denied
Those
access.
were those people that done overdid their updates.
I was denied access to a local FEMA camp earlier today, and I'm really pissed off about it.
Bless you. Bless you, Ray.
You know, I have a right to be tortured just like any other American.
Did you all catch that? There's a little news blurb. They are banning roll your own cigarettes in Las Vegas.
And what's the reasoning behind that?
No, it says roll your own cigarette or the roll your own cigarette machine that people bring their stuff to.
It's what you do is you can't, like what they were doing was they had these places where you could take your they're banning the machines, and I believe it's because they're not taxing that roll tobacco or that bag tobacco enough.
Oh yeah, because that's how they get away from doing the special tax here, is call it pipe tobacco.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Real.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're muted.
We've been rolling our own cigarettes here for years.
I figured that would bring you out of the woodwork.
Well, I got tired of paying, when we quit buying them.
When we quit buying brand name smokes, they were almost $40 a carton.
Yeah, but you
Mine are
see,
55.
but you see the gradual, like what they're doing. Like now they've gotten rid of where you can't order online tobacco anymore from the Indian reservations. They clamped that down, and now they're going after people that roll their own cigarettes. So it's just a matter of time until we're basically Nazi Germany. I mean, it makes me it makes me shake my head.
Yeah.
Record your Deutsch?
Yeah, Yoko, I quit a whole bunch of things over the years, and smoking and cussing are all I've got left. Yeah. That's all.
Yeah.
And you ain't gonna take that away from us. Not
That's
yet.
right.
Damn it.
And if
Not going to
you
happen.
got something to say about that, she'll make a rant video about it.
Right?
Yeah.
Now they're after
the
the e-cigarettes,
It'll
too.
make you cry. Yeah.
I also saw something they were going to be banning makeup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll never see Wimberley again.
I have lifetime supply, thank you. I will be fine in that.
Yeah, I saw that somewhere, and they're going to actually send code enforcement officers into the house to confiscate the makeup.
Out my dead fist will they take the law.
Hey, Sinner, I think that homesteading and prepping go hand in hand. I personally do.
Yep, I do too.
You can't do one without at least a smidgen of the other, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think the only difference between a prepper and a homesteader is the prepper cannot own their own home or be an apartment dweller or something like that. If you own your own home, you start becoming a homesteader as a prepper anyway.
Yep.
Homesteader, prepper, survivalist, it all runs in the same vein. Even just somebody's trying to save a buck, it's all the same thing.
Rob, are you getting sick?
No, why?
Your voice sounds crackly.
Oh, this must be the mic or something.
Maybe you're just really tired. I don't know.
Our mortgage is paid off here. It has been for several years.
I wish mine was.
I don't know any farmers at all.
Not successful ones, mind rover. I mean, just about any. And this whole prepper thing, in a way, it just gets a little tedious to me because if you go shopping for a week, by definition, you're a prepper. It's just a mindset of trying to get through, to prepare to get through it could be the next 24 hours, week, 2 weeks, 2 years. It don't matter. It's just a matter. Preppers do nothing more than just think ahead a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it is.
It's being proactive.
Good way to put it. Being proactive and trying to take, the way I look at it is it's trying to take more and more control of over your own life, piece by piece by piece, as much as your talents and ambition will let you do it.
Yes.
The only farmer that I know, I think his daughter is also his niece, who is his granddaughter. I don't know. It's really confusing. He's like from Mexico. He's not legal. Yeah. They keep it all on the fam,
Heck, if you set your alarm before you lay down at night so you get up on time the next morning, you're prepping.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just bad.
Yeah, people like to put labels on something so they can package you nicely and then market to you.
Yeah.
So you have to have something to call these people. So we call them preppers, and now the next thing you know, you're nothing more than a demographic.
People have been trying to put me in a category for 41 years, and they can't figure it out.
Scooter,
I disagree.
Nobody's ever known what to do with me.
If you buy a 30-thing case of beer, Scooter, no, you're not a prepper, you're an alcoholic.
Yeah, but at least you're a prepared alcoholic.
It's a little bit too far away for me, Mom.
I disagree with that guest, Gray Light. 99% of preppers could outhandle the work of homesteading. You might be surprised.
You would be surprised.
That's where most of mine comes from.
And of course, what do you mean by homesteading? Do you have to be some, long-bearded dude out in the middle of the woods living off the whole land, or can you just be a suburbanite who puts what they have as far as land, money, and talent, what they learn, to do a little bit more for themselves? To me, they're both homesteaders. Just depends how you look at it. Indeed, East Coast. Oh, then go for it, Senator. I'm not saying you can't. Somebody can't go the whole deal. Yeah, go for it. That's awesome. Knock yourself out. Wish you the best of luck and learn all you can, because that's what it's all about, man.
Outside technology, no one can live isolated from everything and everyone else. It's just homesteaders try to do it as minimally as possible.
Trying to be as self-sufficient as possible. And that's
right.
That's what we do.
Yeah, making your own decisions.
Yeah.
Removing having to do things, relying on outside entities for your day-to-day stuff. Moving towards more and more self-reliance, I guess, is to me the whole key to prepping.
Most people would be very surprised at what they can live without.
No, Yoko, nobody got it.
Community homesteading? Yeah, there is. I think that's what, if you know who Pastor Dowell is, that's sort of what he and his congregation are doing.
Well, that's if you're doing the communal life, but
yeah,
if you have a group of associates or friends or whatnot, you don't even have to be in the same state to do community homesteading, because you're feeding off each other's knowledge, each other's encouragement. They don't have to be right next door.
Right. Good night, Queens Minded.
Not Queen.
We had over 100 people in there.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That is tremendous.
It's because I'm so popular.
It is.
Love y'all.
Well, what it is I secretly sent your bearskin rug picture out to everybody, and told them that if they would come to the show, you might give them a little more. But yeah, I'm getting lots of hate mail right now.
Thank you, Tim, for it.
Is a prepper community a socialist community? It'd be pretty hard, because most preppers I know are pretty die-hard anti-socialist. That's what makes them preppers. Socialism pisses them off. Yeah, I don't see how that's possible.
Not John.
Good night, John.
Good night, John.
Okay, Foxy Crab, I'll go with that. Thieving scum government out of wallet.
Good
Yeah,
John.
I agree.
Good night, John.
Later, John.
Later, John.
Talk to you tomorrow, bro.
See you, Big John.
I'm gonna miss my mallet. Just saying.
You'll be all right. You're going up there. Just have him build you one, show you how to build it, and then y'all can make it together and be like blood brothers.
I'm telling you, you need to let them.
What is it?
Zombie mallet.
Asa, I don't think there is a topic for next week, or no, we haven't even talked about it. I don't know.
I think we're just gonna go on next week and just do what we normally do.
Yeah.
Why don't we cover communications next week? Why don't we start off with communications?
Communications or solar,
Let's
alternative power.
Well, actually, why don't we just leave it the way it was before we started Blog TV and just get into a call and talk about whatever comes up.
Here.
Yeah, that's
all right.
That's
not